What's good, y'all? You dub back here again. This video is a kind of conclusion to dealing with the various Baki um, power levels. And I was talking a lot about the demon power levels, the demigod, if you will, power levels. And it's kind of very interesting um, when you think about it because I talked about now. I will get into again reiterating about the demigods and go more in depth with certain characters who y'all want to see potentially become on that level and who could they represent. I'll also be breaking down the other potentials of the different demigods on the come up because I know different Baki fans foresee Baki and a few of these other cats be like, but wait, what about them? And couldn't it? Yes, they can. Yes. And I'll break down why I chose these entities as far as the characteristics of it. Because I couldn't just, oh, this character can come, because not everybody can reach that level. Even if they're not on a certain level now, that don't mean they can't be in the future. Let's say if when Baki becomes grown, like his father's age, you see what I'm saying? So there is that. Now, how did I come up with the demigod level to begin with? Well, I was looking at Baki and I was like, I'm in Baki though, obviously. And I misspoke when I talked about my top 15 most powerful Baki characters. I meant to say the Musashi versus Hanayama fight. That's what I meant to say. But if you're in the arc, you'll understand. It just I was thinking of the Baki series as a whole. Anyways, it was a while back, and it was around the time I was looking at Musashi and the work he was putting in. I'm like, this dude's an Ashura. And of course, you had Oni, the ogre, Hamijuro himself. And then I start looking at the other ones, and I'm like, okay, if you have these two who are godlike, if you will, they're demigods, they're arguable gods in fighting, gods of fighting, right? Gods of the martial arts, quote unquote. Then I'm like, well, wouldn't anybody else on that level be on that? And then I'm like, the top tiers are demigod level because they're clearly human, but they've ascended to beyond normal human capacity. So that's how the origin of the thought, and I've been using this for like 3 years now. This term demigod level, or the demigods, if you will. And I've said this about Motobe Sensei, Motobe Izo, when he, as you heard me, if you watch those videos, master of judo, a true judoka, but he's a grandmaster of ninjutsu. Okay, he epitomizes the martial arts. He's war embodied. He's always prepped for that. This man, when I say he was the Batman in as far as in the prep and everything, this dude came in with a Kevlar vest. This dude was able to get away from the ogre. This dude was able to surprise Baki. This dude subdued casually Jackhammer, Hanma Jackhammer. This dude's nothing to mess with. This dude was going head to head versus Musashi. Now Musashi's like he could have cut him and chopped his arms, but this dude came for war. This dude was pulling out all kinds of tricks. He's a true god of war. He's Hachiman, which is the Japanese god of war. When it comes to Musashi, clearly Asura, if you look it up, what he is and what he brings to the table and the savagery that Musashi is when it comes to the battlefield, but in total control at the same time, the elegance and all of that, the elegance that he happens to portray. Okay. The ogre himself, it was the perfect one for Yujiro. Hama Yujiro is a monster. He's a monster amongst absolute monsters. Like a god amongst men walking. And you look at him, you like, yeah, I could definitely see how things work for him. Then you look at the Tengu, just the body of Hanma Yuichiro. You look at, you know, his kind of trickster ways and everything about him. Tengu works perfectly. Now, to the people who want to come up, Baki obviously. It's Baki. I mean, it's not just because of his series. You look at him, he's closest. Him and Pickle. Pickle's another one on the come up. Hanayama's on the come up too, and Orochi Katsumi, who I don't have in the top 15 for a variety of reasons, but he has insane potential. He was promoted since Grappler Baki. His father has mad hype for him. You know, Retsukayo had mad hype for him. So these four are the ones I think that we know of presently. And so who would each of them be if they were attaining this? And here's the why. First of all, Fujin, Orochi Katsumi. Now, Katsumi, why Fujin? The god of wind. You know that his kicks and his punches breaking the sound barrier. Now, that might not seem too impressive compared to some of the feats we've seen early in the Baki series, but you have to think it symbolically. Move as the wind. And you also have to consider he's a karateka. He's as fast as the wind itself. He produces his kicks and punches could produce shockwaves. He would be devastating. He would surpass his father. His father epitomizes what karate is, but if Orochi Katsumi transcended the human limitations, then he would be on that demigod level with his strikes. So keep that in mind. Keep in mind what he's trying to do. Remember, he has a loss of an arm. That's not going to hold him back. In fact, that may, in fact, force him to become more powerful. Kind of what happened, even though his potential is not, he can't reach his ultimate quote unquote potential. It's kind of like what happened with Anakin Skywalker when he became Darth Vader. While he physically couldn't reach his potential, he became more powerful and more uh, honed in his skills because of that loss of his body, his most of his body, anyways. Next up, Byaku. Byaku, the White Tiger from Hanayama. Hanayama Karu. Okay, Karu. I can never pronounce the name correctly. Anyways, Hanayama and the White Tiger. Why that? And I got reminded that it also relates to, if you know Ray from Beyblade, it's his big beast. But the White Tiger, it's one of the kings in Chinese mythology. And you look at Hanayama and his fighting style. You look at him, just this brute of a man, just this big, powerful specimen of a man. The grip strength and the strong punching and the whole thing of virtue and all of that. It works perfectly out with who he is. I don't think I need to explain too much. He's set up to become that, you know. Obviously, Baki. And who Baki? Orochi. Now, we're not talking about Orochi Dopo and Orochi Katsumi, but the actual Orochi, the eight-headed snake. All right. The grappler, Baki's grappler style. Even though he's not a real grappler like uh, Miyazawa Kiichi from the Tough series, Baki with 8 points of contact, everything that he brings to the table, the Orochi snake attacking you from all angles works perfectly with him. And last but certainly not least, as far as in the potential candidates, Pickle as the Shinigami, the god of death. He's already the strongest creature, right up there with Yuichiro and Yujiro. Him learning it, especially if you're a fan of Hajime no Ippo, all right, with Mashiba Ryo, Pickle falls right in line with that. Death god. Need I say more? Come on, Pickle is a death god. Come on now. Exactly. And one last potential, we'll see it in upcoming, who knows, but a Kappa, sumo wrestler, all right, god of sumo, if you will. These are my thoughts on it. I mean, we can get potential if we get introduced to other characters. Of course, I can address that as the time goes on. But these are the potential I have now. Um, and here's what I think about the demigod level. I think the demigod level is a special place attained to be some. I think there's more out there if we get an expansive look at the world of Baki. There's so many more that can possibly fit in here, and I will address and update that. But this is kind of like just the exclusive to this why I come up with this criteria in this series. It's a special place, and obviously I see some potentials of new ones, but they're just not there yet, and that's just what it is. Unexpected one, like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts on the matter, and next time, till next time, y'all have a beautiful day, beautiful night, peace.